You're listening to A Midlife Less Ordinary, the weekly podcast giving you the lowdown on becoming a cool older dude. The good times are not a faded memory. It's time to start living them again. And here are your hosts, Wayne and Trev.
Yeah, hello and welcome to another A Midlife Less Ordinary. And this episode is entitled Learn Boxing, Raging Bullshit. Don't know why we called it that. And I have Clubber Trev standing ringside. What's your prediction for this podcast, Clubber Trev?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Rocky 3?
Rocky 3.
Yeah, Rocky 3 or Rocky 4?
Rocky 3.
I think I agree with you, although they're both fun.
And they're both great movies.
Yeah.
In that kind of genre.
Exactly.
And why do you think I said Rocky 3?
Because of Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
Clubber Lang.
Because of that, this is why you've done your tribute to him at the start. You know,
It is. Don't get
cool.
me wrong.
Is his role made?
Drago's cool. Drago's cool.
Yeah.
We all like that. I will break you.
Yes.
We love that.
You sound like
I tell
Eugene.
you what,
You could be Eugene Nikobolikov with that
I was
accent.
about to say that.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
We don't need to pay him to be our correspondent anymore.
Exactly. If we happen to talk to him again, I'll get him to do a Drago impression.
You can talk to him in Russian.
Yes.
Well, you did actually last time.
Yes.
Hello. But, they're moving on from that because we're not doing Eugene tonight.
Moving on.
And we're not doing movies because we've done that as well. But this one is literally what we've said it out to be. It's Learn Boxing. We've got Glenn from Glove Up Club. He's a qualified boxing coach. I've always fancied doing boxing, Trev. What do you think about boxing?
Yeah, I can see it just for the fitness side of it. I think me and you are more kind of like David Coleman and Harry Carpenter, really.
Which one's
boxers? I'll have David Coleman. You could be Harry Carpenter.
They're both not around anymore, are they?
No,
so there isn't any advantage to any of them, really. But,
no, there's not. They're ex-commentators.
We'll move on from that. We'll be them. Whatever. I'll be whichever one. Hopefully Glenn could be able to tell us all about learning boxing. What if we can take up boxing now? There's rumours of there might be an upcoming fight between Clubber Trev.
About, not a fight. About. You got to get
the lingo right. You've been doing your.
You got to get the lingo
research.
Right.
Good stuff, man. Well done.
No, about.
Well, as long as you don't go on about battering rings, that's all I care about on this show. But,
we're not going to get through. We're not going to get through without that
any
mentioned
puns
at least twice.
Exactly. No. Yeah, there probably is. I don't think we're about to stop Glenn from being able to speak about. We'll push him that way, and we'll see how we get on.
But exactly. Yeah, big guy. He's a big guy. So don't push him too far.
Well, maybe I won't. No.
He'll push you back.
Yeah, I'll be more scared than the other. Yeah. Okay. We'll be good to you, Glenn. Glenn from Glove Up Club. Glenn can train you to be a boxer or keep the fitness from boxing. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's one of the most fit sports you can do. And if I didn't feel so lumbering and out of shape and everything because we've been locked
lumbering.
Because
is that the word you'd use? Lumbering?
Well, I'm not quick on my feet. You're light on your toes, aren't you?
I am, especially when people laugh at me.
Yeah,
no,
going back to the fairies. Yeah,
but bedrooms in the morning out the window. Flash, boy.
Boxing, all the running, the stamina. When you get in a fight, it's nothing like that adrenaline rush you get. That you burn out in about 10 seconds, Trev. You're always fighting from all the other podcasts we've done. You're always getting in fights, so you must understand that.
Yeah. I do get that, to be honest.
And there's
I've got a short fuse. Short fuse, mate.
We all
That's
know
my
that.
problem.
Yeah.
Short fuse.
It comes across like that.
It is.
It does. You're always losing it with me. I don't know why. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a fashionista for this. Oh dear, it's getting a bit serious. I'm looking at him. But anyway, there's this white collar boxing trend coming on now, isn't it? A bit like Fight Club and things like that.
I've been to one of them.
Yeah.
I've been to one of them. Yep.
And
I've been to one.
I don't know if I fancy it. I don't like the Fight Club thing where you're just going to get battered just to make yourself feel better about everything else in your life.
Why are you talking about it then?
Because I just
What's the first rule of Fight Club? What's the first rule of Fight Club?
And it's the second one. I know. Yes. I won't talk about it.
And you're talking about it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Stop having I'm going to... It's on. Me and you in the bout. But
I knew I'd push you to it.
You would. With no further ado, we'll go over to Glenn. Glenn, welcome to the show. So, Glenn, thank you for joining us today. You are the owner, I guess, and the operator of Glove Up Club. Can you tell us what the Glove Up Club is about, Glenn, and the background, etc.?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a pleasure.
No problem, Glenn.
What it is, it started off for me. I've always been involved in fighting ever since I was a young kid. I think there's huge benefits to come from it. And when my eldest son was started getting into it, and he was, "Oh, can you train me, Dad?" And I took him to a few gyms, and he which said, "Oh, I prefer training with you." And I thought to myself, I don't think I am fully equipped to actually provide the best training for him. So that sort of sparked my knowledge into training, into how to structure lessons. And it sort of sparked from there, really. And I've just absolutely fallen in love with it, started taking on more clients, and it's just grown from there. It's blown up.
Because you're a qualified PT, aren't you, as well, Glenn?
Yeah, I started off, I've always been involved in fitness. I joined the Army when I was 17, and I represented the Army doing powerlifting, strongman and combined service level. So I was taking on the Air Force and Navy and stuff like that. So I was a bit of a chunky monkey, should we say, to put it slightly.
We're just monkeys on here, Glenn. We're just monkeys.
Speak for yourself.
We're just monkeys, mate. Yeah.
But so that's why I've always had a fitness background. I worked in the gym and bits and bobs like that, and so it sort of grew from there. And when I come out, then you get your resettlement package where you get a good couple of grand to spend on what you want. And I knew exactly what I wanted, and I went straight for the high-end diploma in personal training. And it took me to quite advanced sort of, injury prevention, stuff like that. And then my next qualification I got off that was a coaching qualification, where it was how to look after the athlete, the mindset of the athlete, talked about performance enhancing drugs, how to deal with social media, how to deal with the media, how to get funding for your sport, how to, it covered, you name it.
Really detailed and deep, isn't it, to be honest, Glenn? It really is.
Yeah.
I would never have thought it would cover stuff like that. I really wouldn't. But then it's all in a lot of that's in the mind, isn't it? That's the
definitely
training. Wayne and I train.
True.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's willpower and mind over matter, isn't it? Sort of dealing with injuries and pain. Yeah, I never really thought about that. Really didn't. No, it's like something else there.
Yeah, and then after that, I went on to do my intermediate boxing coach qualification, and I'm literally, my next one up is going to be my advanced boxing coaches, which I'm still debating whether to do that post-COVID, just so I can get my hands on in the gym and interact with people again. Or if I am impatient, which more likely is going to be me, I will just do it online. So that's where I'm at the moment, qualification-wise.
Are you coaching inside, like you got like a club, Glenn, or do you train also externally in parks, etc.?
Yeah, at the moment I've got my own. I hate this. I don't know why I hate this. I don't know where, but I've got my own fitness studio. I hate it when people say that.
I didn't know what to call it. Yeah.
Why he's got his own hairdressing studio?
Yeah,
as well.
but I haven't got any hair. That's the main problem.
It's a head massage parlour.
Book me in for that.
There's number one client, Wayne.
Yeah, I've got one.
It's not money wasted. See, Wayne had that money and nearly blew it, but I talked him into doing the head massage parlour
because he doesn't like
now
me.
He's got his now he's got his first client as well, which is good.
But they say, Glenn, about taking kids off the street with boxing, and obviously I'm guessing kids that live in urban areas and everything, there's a lot of aggression pent up, and they need to get it. Is that what they mean by that? When obviously they go boxing, it's that discipline you need to carry it out. Definitely,
it's a way of channeling it. At the end of the day, fighters are going to fight.
Yeah.
So isn't it better to get them off the street? The more I used to fight, the less I felt like I had to prove it to people. It's weird. It's like the more efficient at fighting I become, the more someone could call me excuse my French, like a wanker to my face. And I think I can get over it. I can look past that because I know I can efficiently handle myself. It's like less I had to prove. And I think with this current stage, with the knife carrying, it's no one wants to be seen as weak. No one wants to back down. If you lose, they normally come back with a knife because they can't deal with shaking hands, dusting off.
Yeah, it's an ego thing, isn't it, Glenn? I
Definitely.
think the ego takes over.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the weird, I always struggle with this when people say to me, "Oh, what's your sort of clientele? Who are you after?" You try and say that you're after young lads without sounding
that's not a good tagline.
Lads that are having difficulty at home. Are you saying vulnerable children? Are you after vulnerable children right now? And I'm like, I'm getting this all wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's not the sort of thing to have on your sort of business card, is it? So we'll take kids in. Like,
when is the best time for somebody to start to maximise their boxing skills, Glenn? For I suppose as early as possible, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, if you come into boxing at 16 and then you go against a lad that's been fighting since he was 5 or 6, obviously there's going to be that knowledge gap, because it's a career. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do a boxing course, I know how to box. It's 20, 30 years of learning something every day, a little bit, getting a little bit better at it.
Mm.
So there is going to be that gap. But I've always honestly believed that it doesn't matter. You could walk into the gym tomorrow and be after gym by hard work, natural abilities, talent. It's never too late. So if you're, the back end of it, if you're in your 30s, 40s and think, I've always wanted to give that a go, but I just know, I swear to God, find your nearest boxing gym, hook me up, ring me if you're local to the area, hook me up. It's never, ever too late. Ever.
I'm glad you said that, Glenn, because that's what all this podcast is about taking up new and different things. So you virtually just did our work Pitch for us there, mate. Yeah, exactly. That's brilliant.
It's so true, though. It's never too late. I mean, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 32 at the moment, and I literally plan on fighting till I'm 50, 60, or whether until my ticket gives out. If I was to die in the ring, and that sounds dramatic, if I was to die in the ring and all my family's crying, don't cry, because I went out doing what I love. There's never too late, and there's a level for everyone. Like it doesn't matter if you're the worst fighter in the world. There is a platform for you somewhere where there's someone of equal talent, equal age, equal weight class, who will match you up, and you can friends and family can come see you. You can train hard, keep discipline, and there's a fight for you somewhere. So,
what are you? What's your? What have you basically won, Glenn? Boxing. What have you?
Well, I don't like to talk about.
Sorry, maybe I should have. I've pitched that differently, shouldn't I? I should have said like.
Right. I've done a few, should we say, bare knuckle bits and bobs, which I don't like to talk about, but
bare knuckle.
Yeah, I have actually.
Oh my God.
But right, this is going to open to a whole new world. But long story short, I grew up with a traveller family where, fighting was just like having a cup of tea.
Wow.
So it's just the way we've always done it. But I want to get my kids in the ring, basically, doing that side of things.
I think I saw one of your children in a video that on your page, Glenn, was smacking, like jabbing, basically pretty hard for. I don't know if he's only a young lad, but he was smacking the hell out of you holding the pads. Quite impressive.
He loves it. And I mean, at first it was, the odd bit here and there, and now he starts to ask me, when can we train next? It's really nice to see. And I've through a mutual friend, there's a Hockley Boxing Club.
Yes.
They're really good stepping stone for young lads. I would recommend that to anyone. They've had a few of their fighters go on to be quite high level, and they really support young fighters in there. If you've got a young lad who's keen to fight, that's the gym to go to.
Yes.
I personally fight out of the locker room in the South End. I made it all the way up to my first fight in the ring. And then the day of the COVID, day of lockdown last year.
Oh, dear, that's not good.
Yeah, so it was stressful.
So you build up to that, don't you, Glenn? You prepare yourself mentally to get in the ring. You're ready to go, and then it's pulled away from you like that.
Yeah.
I've only actually... Oh, sorry, Glenn. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, so fight night was the day of when the country went into lockdown, and we all went out on the drink instead because we was all the fighters. We all just sort of didn't know what to do with ourselves. We hadn't drunk in months. We trained so hard. And then it didn't come about. But I'm keen to get back in as soon as possible, as soon as the locker room opens again.
With your training, Glenn, with the boxing, talking to the mental side a little bit earlier, do you... Because it must be hard it would be hard for someone like myself to actually hit another person. Mm. So when you kind of train people, do you sort of train them to handle that side of it? Does that make sense? Or am I?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different. It's hard for me personally. I've always had an attraction to fighting. It's obsession would be probably not the best word to use, but I've always been obsessed with fighting in some shape or form. Like if I weren't fighting, I'd be on YouTube watching fights in the street. I mean, my wife thought there was something wrong with me. She said, "There's something wrong with you. You're just obsessed with fighting," and it's almost like it's like a sickness in me. And the only way I can do it is the sport keeps me, out of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Which is good, to be honest, isn't it? That's a good message.
To be honest, you've never seen us on such good behaviour, even since the guy we spoke to from Russia was on the other week. We were from the KGB. We're on our best behaviour today, I've noticed, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why you didn't invite me in. You blamed it on COVID.
But yeah, I'd say that's the thing I think mentally I would struggle with. I think help me was if they put a picture of Wayne's face on whatever I was hitting, and that I could just pummel.
We could only improve it, to be honest. But
I could really go to town.
Actually, I'm going to ask Glenn. I'm going to ask his opinion. But Glenn, you've got Trevor, who was known as the cat when he played football in goal because he had quick reflexes and he likes his running and everything. And you've got me, who's strong and sort of 17 stone and not very quick, but got that. Who would win?
Oh, I like questions like this.
Remember how quick I am, how agile, Glenn.
But it's metaphorical, Trev, so people can work out what kind of boxer they'll be.
If it was in a ring with a ref and sets of rules, I think that Trev would win.
Look at that.
If it was sort of street fight,
fighter.
Wayne.
He's really sat on the fence with that one. I like that.
That's a good answer.
Good answer. Brilliant.
Yeah. What only reason Wayne brought that up because he likes a good battering around the ring.
Oh
Glenn.
dear,
he really
this
does.
is not good, is it? He always goes down this road. Sorry about this, Glenn. But
that reminds me. Book me in that massage parlour, definitely.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can get out of it. It really is. It's kind of.
And talking of battering ring, not that that's anything to do with it, but I was just wondering, Glenn, if you'd like to take part in our weekly quiz called Test the Guest. Just a bit of fun.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right, stand by for our little jingle.
I've never been good at tests, but yeah.
No, it's all fun. As you know, I'll go out of my way to make Trevor say something silly. Don't worry about that. But here's our little jingle.
Is that why you texted me earlier saying A, B?
Shh.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, keep that. The secret's out now. Don't tell it that. Here we go. Test the guest. We're going to test the guest. We're going to test the guest. We're going to test the guest. Test the guest. Sorry about that, Glenn.
That hasn't freaked you out at all, has it, Glenn?
Is that recorded? Is that done live?
God, that would be impressive. We'd be get Aled Jones on singing the Snowman and that for a thing.
Just grabbing hold of your testicles, squeezing tight, get those higher notes out.
First question to you, Glenn. I think this is a nice one for you to start. And this one is actually multiple choice. The rest, won't even give Trevor an inkling of an answer. But what boxing weight class is the heaviest from these? Is it flyweight, bantamweight, or featherweight?
So I've been a heavyweight since I was 15, so I've never really cared about anything.
What is heavyweight, Glenn, just off the top of your head?
Is it 92 over?
Oh, my God, that means I'll be fighting Anthony Joshua. It's mad, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the problem.
I'd like to see you fight Anthony Joshua, Wayne.
To be honest, I think I could beat him. No, not but no, just be sorry. But sorry, Glenn. So I'm putting you off.
So what's the options?
Flyweight, bantamweight, and featherweight, which is the heaviest out of them ones?
Right, flyweight,
bantamweight, featherweight. I've always got confused with this.
Bantamweight.
I hate to do this to a guest. It's actually featherweight. Don't worry, it's quite a regular occurrence on this. But they're not necessarily related to anything. Now I've got to make sure that Trevor doesn't do any good. Right. I'm going to say this one because it could know it.
The bearded bomber that could take you, Wayne. Give me the question.
Only take me in the ring. Oops. No, that doesn't sound right, does it? But, sorry. I'm going to say this one because there is a chance you might know it. And if you don't, then I might be able to clown you out. But so Lennox Lewis was defeated by Hassan Rahman in 2001. What excuse did he give his promoter for his lack of focus?
Oh, I know this one as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, Glenn. Sorry, mate.
Well, when I get it wrong, Glenn can tell.
There's no answers. Answer. You've got to just guess the answer. And I'll let Glenn answer it to get his point back. Go, come on.
Was he masturbating too much?
Oh, God.
Was he masturbating too much?
Oh, dear, Trev. You're really stretching it. Not stretching that, but... Thank God for that. Go on, Glenn. Educate him, please.
Right, if I've got this right, because this was a while ago, is it when he was jet lagged and tired because he was filming for a film?
This man does know his stuff.
There we go.
He was actually, his excuse was he was filming Ocean's 11. Was he doing work as a cameraman? What's he doing that? He's a boxer.
I can't even remember him in that film.
No, neither do I.
He did it for about 2 seconds. He was probably masturbating on the plane.
Oh, is that why you said that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, you got half a point.
Yeah, exactly.
Next one to you, Glenn. You say you've got your point back, so you're all good.
Right, sweet.
American boxer. This is the one I was going to give Trev to sort of half test him again, but he's going to know this one because it's movie related. American boxer James J. Braddock was given the nickname inspired by a popular fairy tale story. What is it? I don't want to give this to Trev. If I have to give you 1,000,000 clues, I'll do it. Think of the clock striking the 12 o'clock and turning into pumpkins and things.
So it's something Cinderella-y related.
Yeah, and the opposite of woman.
Opposite of woman, man.
Yes, well done. He knows his stuff. Right, as long as I don't have to give it to Trev, I don't care. I hate it when he gets things right. He goes on about it for weeks. Well done, Glenn. Cinderella Man. Did you know that, Trev? You would have known that, wouldn't you? You knew that.
Yeah, I would have.
Because of the film with Russell Crowe, wouldn't you? Yeah. Right. Next question to you, Trev. It's good. It's not multiple choice. How old was George Foreman, not when he invented the grill, when he became the oldest heavyweight champion? It's just a number.
Well, are you saying it's just a number because you're...
It's going to be between 1 and sort of something, isn't it? You know, we weren't 1, was he? So you can count out a few. So,
was he as old as Joe Bugner?
He's probably better looking, to be honest, and to talk better.
Yeah,
but,
he is.
But just have a guess. I mean, you're not going to. He's going to be the oldest heavyweight champion. The oldest heavyweight champion.
45.
Oh God! How did you do that? Oh my God! Did you just Google that?
I feel like Rocky Balboa running up those steps in Philadelphia now. Doing that.
Right, because he got one right, I've got to go quickly to Glenn. Glenn, in which round did Anthony Joshua defeat Vladimir Klitschko in their heavyweight showdown in 2017?
Oh, God, I remember that fight. That was a good one. I'm either 6 or 9, 6 or 9, 6 or 9. I'm going to go 9.
Bit more.
10.
A bit more.
11?
Yeah. Well done. Excellent. I'll edit out all them little hints. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. But yeah, that is.
Still get me going those 6.
Exactly. Yeah. He said 6. He said 9.
But yeah, I think we all watched that one, didn't we? We were in the pub at that time, Trev, weren't we?
Yeah, I think we did.
It was uppercut.
Yeah.
Uppercut. Where he did a giraffe neck. Did you see the memes that went around after that?
Yeah, I remember them. The memes.
Very quickly, Glenn, just on that subject of televised boxing, do you think that pay-per-view is a real con?
Do you know what pissed me off when I started to buy Sky Sports and Sky Boxing, the channels, and then suddenly I'm still paying out for my pay-per-view on top of that.
Yeah.
This is it.
It gets ridiculous, doesn't it, after a while?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm glad we cleared that up, because the pay-per-view thing, that all the lads and that at work by the boxing and stuff, and they used to be able to kind of, where before COVID, you could all get together and make a night of it and all pay $5 each. But if you're paying, is it, £25
quid, yeah, for most
that's
of it.
terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is, especially for something that it's not like a football match. It could be over within 3 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I don't know how Dillian White got away with charging people the other day for that. It's unbelievable.
See that.
And you just destroyed him, didn't you? It's
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
It was a lucky punch. It just proved it was a lucky punch in the first fight, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
But,
Well, he dropped him a couple of times in the last fight.
Yeah.
And then he just comes back with that absolute, that famous saying, "I only takes one punch."
yes,
But
with a heavyweight.
Proves it there.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to get you with, Trev. But we're not going to get just one lucky punch. One last question to you, Trev, before we finish. It's quite an easy one, actually. So just to make you feel pressure. Which boxing promoter's come on, you got to get this. Which boxing promoter's favourite expression is "only in America"?
Don King.
I hate to do it, but it's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the end of Test the Guest for this
When I
week.
get up in the morning, my hair looks like Don King's used to.
Your beard probably looks like Don King upside down, doesn't it? but no, thanks for taking part in that, Glenn.
No worries.
Yeah, well done, Glenn.
So Glenn, so just sort of summing up and everything, that you saying like any age, obviously, if you're going to take up boxing as a sport for your life, start as early as you can, like you are with your boys. But if you want to start at our age, I mean, Trevor and I don't like to say it too much, but we do put it out there that we're sort of 50 odd. We could still get away. We could still do so.
Well, hold on.
Here we go. 3 months. 3 months.
3 months. Yeah. Wayne's actually, he's obviously older than me, Glenn.
By 3
obviously.
months. Yes. Okay, Trev. Let's talk about acting your age, Glenn. You know what I mean? Two 50-year-olds, we didn't hear enough 50-year-olds arguing about 3 months. But, if we decide, not being funny, I fancied it all my life. I did do a little bit when I was about 8, but, and it just fell away for whatever reason at a place used to be called Lindisfarne in Southend. It used to be quite well known. But if I fancied it now, because the ultimate fitness of it, what would we expect for somebody that hasn't done any sort of cardio work probably for at least a year?
It's basically one of the hardest sports in the world. Not to put you off, but you'll burn hundreds and hundreds of calories and get in the best shape of your life. But you don't realise you're doing it because you're so concentrating on, getting your chin down, hitting the target, listening to the combination, working out your breathing. There's so much to focus on. It's almost, you don't know. If I said to you, give me 1,000 burpees, you'd be like, oh, what?
Do three.
This is gonna be... yeah, but you get to the same end goal, but you don't realise it's just so much to it. You just burn. There's no other workout like it in the world.
I've to be honest, I've only ever been to one boxing match. That was a charity thing that was put on in Southend. One of our guys in the Villains, Daniel, he fought for his dad, kind of a charity thing. To be honest, and he's a big guy, and it looked absolute, and he trained ages for it, and it just looked such hard work, and he was so kind of ragged. He did win, which was really good, but that freaked me out a bit because I don't know about, obviously you've got a lot of friends in that kind of sort of game, Glenn, but seeing friends of yours getting hit and then encouraging them to hit other people. But the adrenaline in the room is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. It is incredible.
Really, it's that sort of...
How do you control that, Glenn?
It's almost hard to explain, but I look at... If someone hits me in a fight, I don't think, oh, they're better than me. Oh, this is it. I think I allowed them to hit me. So it's not that they're better than me. It's that I let them hit me by not slipping or moving quick enough. Yeah. So so I'm so focused on the job in hand. There's a little bit of aggression to it, but it's a controlled environment. It's like you've got to get that job done. It's a completely different world to a street fight where that's you put someone under fight stress and they'll just revert to their most basic fighting skills where they're chin down.
Yeah.
You usually end up cuddling them and wrestling on the floor, generally. Or is that just me? I don't know. But
no, that's a night out with Wayne.
Yeah, that's just
that.
Yeah.
Complete strangers.
Four pints just fell up.
Exactly. Yeah. Wayne likes to call it a lover-thon. His nights out like that. It's just like run up to any man he can, just hug and kiss him. It's just like
no, but I do understand. I've been in a few, street fights, if you can call them that. But it's exactly that. My adrenaline gets the better of me when I fight. I used to do martial arts, and I actually won a competition. Funny enough, but I'd done it for a few years. This is going back a long time, Trev. Before any jokes, but I remember every time I go into an actual fight, my adrenaline used to drain me within about 30 seconds because I'm so... And then I remembered back to what Bruce Lee said in Enter the Dragon. I don't know if it really transpires to boxing, but he says like emotional content, not anger. Is that kind of what you have to do? Put yourself
Definitely.
there? Yeah.
Definitely. When I first started boxing, my friends used to say to me, I always know when I've hurt you. I was like, how? He went, because you come flailing out of the corner at me. And then all he does is hit me and move out the way because I've gone into that little 10-second red mist where it's just, you're not thinking about what you're doing. It's just, you have to be, it's all part of it. It's like what I love about the sport, to be fair, is you come in, you punch 10 living bells of crap out of each other, and then you have a little cuddle and shake a hand at the end of it. I just love that side of it. Yeah. As soon as the bell's gone, the switch is gone. You've left it all out there, the switch is gone. That.
On a quick side note, I've actually got boxing in my family. My dad was a fan. He wasn't a boxer, but my wife's, I think he's a great uncle or some kind of relation, was the first guy to actually win the Lonsdale belt.
Wow.
A guy called Bombardier Billy Wells. He was also, Rank Film Distribution, the gong at the start.
Yeah, that massive head guy that just whacks it.
That's him.
Way.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's him. He actually
defended. I loved that when I was a kid.
Yeah, he actually he defended the title 14 times, and he was the first one to win the Lonsdale belt. So that's me. Wow. That's my boxing input. Yeah, exactly.
He didn't sell his Lonsdale belt to Sports Direct, did he?
Yeah, he got a free 2-pint teacup with it.
So Glenn, where can people find out more about Glove Up Club and links to you, and what can they find out online? So if they want to find out more or come and train with you, etc.
Yeah, sure. I'm on Instagram as glove_up_club. I post a few bits and bobs on there, and I do a few little tutorials. But if anyone wants to drop me a message, and talk about boxing, I love it so much. I'm quite happy to talk to anyone that will listen to me. So any questions or anything they want to know, I'll quite happily get in contact with anyone and talk about it.
You've also just started your own podcast, haven't you?
Yeah. First episode went out on the Povetkin and Dillian White 2 fight.
Right.
So yeah, it was great fun.
So I can find that on YouTube then. What's it called?
Yeah, that one's Chatterbox TV.
Chatterbox TV. We'll put links to all this up on our site as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant, thank you.
At one point in the future,
as well, so.
In the future, Glenn, perhaps we could come on and do a podcast, all of us, see how that.
Absolutely, I'd love to have you guys on. That'd be great.
And if your fight comes off, Glenn, we'd like to go to it. I think I'd love to.
Yeah, definitely.
To a fight.
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
Love that.
Definitely. We'll be in your corner, mate. Definitely, definitely in your corner.
Brilliant. No, I really appreciate joining us today, Glenn.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Glenn. It's been really good
really
listening to this.
Thank you.
I've had a really good time. Thank you so much for having me on.
That's all we can ask.
Great stuff. Thanks, Glenn.
Cheers, Glenn. And Glenn contacted us after the interview, and he just wanted us to mention to everyone that he might have come across a bit how he didn't want to in that podcast by saying that he started off doing bare knuckle fighting in his background, and he obviously wanted to make it clear that part of him was just part of his journey. And obviously, with his job now, training people, taking kids off the street basically and training them to be boxing and the discipline, he didn't want to come across like he's nasty or anything like that. It's just part of his journey. So I just thought we'd say that and clarify that. But I'm sure you all knew that anyway, to be honest. What do you think, Trev?
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of responsibility there with kids, isn't there?
Yes.
And I think that's the thing. If you're going to send your child to like a boxing training camp or anything, best to know the background. So that is cool. The bit I loved about that, the bit I really took from that, is the idea that they're training anybody, mainly young guys, to channel their anger and use it in a good way and channel it through a sport rather than kicking 7 bells out of someone in the street.
Yes.
I think the thing is, the more responsibility you have, the more you know how you can hurt someone with your hands. Glenn's teaching them that not to use it. The responsibilities, you have got weapons there. So that's great. I think Glenn come across like he really had a way of teaching guys not to keep their anger in and save it for the sport, and to channel that anger into concentration to win at a sport, which I thought was great. I think that's a great message to get across to people.
Yeah, exactly. He confirmed basically what we've heard before with some of the professional boxers over the years. A lot of them came from hardcore backgrounds, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Hard times. They may be involved with crime, and boxing saves them from that, channels their energies. I mean, with the work involved, and you could hear that from what Glenn was saying, you don't have time to do that. You wouldn't have energy left to do
I'm about to say, whatever, like, I know my references are normally movies and stuff, and other stuff, because as I said in the interview, my dad was really into boxing. But they're up at like 3 a.m. and running and stuff. So the discipline's not just in the fighting, it's conditioning and getting your head right to deal with the actual training of it, because it is such hard work.
Yeah.
If you look at any of Glenn's social media and stuff, he's absolutely, and I think he's brought that discipline of the fight skills into his business as well.
Yes.
That it's full on. It shows you if you go for it, you can achieve things and you can become something,
If I was going to be trained for boxing, and obviously Glenn said then, maybe you'll see us on the pad sometime. If I can drag myself from my sofa, then maybe I'll take him up on that.
If you can catch me running around the ring.
Well, I'm not going to catch you. That was the problem. I like the way he sat on the fence with that and sort of come up with
he did a good job
a scenario where both of us could win. It doesn't sort out the issues between you and myself, but
not at all.
We'll have to sort that out there. But if I was going to be trained for boxing, I'd want to be trained by somebody as enthusiastic as Glenn, and I wouldn't think twice about going to Glove Up Club and signing up
at all.
Just to get fit or for whatever you want.
Yeah, I think as well it shows you that it's not a 5-minute wonder.
Yes,
the whole time, you invest a lot into it to get a lot out of it.
Yes.
So I think that is in life as well. I think that's a great, because you could take what you learn from that training into life, can't you, as well?
Yeah.
As you said in the interview, a bit like Bruce Lee. I know it was a bit of a corny movie reference, but it is true.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and Glenn confirmed that. He said, you don't go in the ring just flailing around because you'll burn out quickly. And I've always
disciplined, aren't you?
Yeah, you've got to be disciplined.
You're leaving your guard down. You're not thinking straight.
I say that's what I said. I think that's what Bruce Lee meant. He said, don't just go for me. Just think about what you're doing and think about it.
See, that in a way is what you should do more with me. You should think more about the podcast rather than just giving me a hard time, because your red mist comes down. Yeah, well, this is what happens. See, the red mist comes down. You stop. You see, listen, you're doing it now. You're doing it now.
No,
but you do. You. The red mist comes down, and then you start forgetting things, because all you can see is me, anger for me. So if you controlled that, channeled it, you could possibly put that energy into the podcast.
Before in the intro to this podcast, I asked you what is your prediction for this podcast, and you said pain. You're the one who's dishing out the red mist. Nothing to do with me. I'm not having this argument on air. So, but as always, thanks. I can't wait to finish this season, and therefore, hopefully, next we'll script Trev as a lovely kind of coordinator and correspondent.
Yeah, exactly. That gives different kind of guy.
A different kind of that's not going to happen, is it? But so we'll put all Glenn's details up on the website, the links to Glove Up Club and all his Instagram and everything, so you can see for yourself the videos of Glenn training
and his podcast.
Yeah, and Glenn, what's the name of the podcast again, Trev?
Chatterbox,
that's right. Yeah, it's a bit like Gogglebox for boxing. Yeah. That's what he was describing.
Exactly, yeah. Go to that. I've watched a couple of them. It's there. And even for a person that's not overly into boxing, likes a little bit of it, I found it really good. I thought it's if you like boxing, you could just sit and listen to them going on.
You don't have to like. It's like we try and do with this podcast a little bit, Trevor, isn't it? We don't expect everyone to like all the subjects we're actually including, but we're trying to make other things accessible. So you might not necessarily be into boxing, but it's interesting, hopefully, to hear people talking passionately about boxing.
Yeah, it is,
and giving us a clue of what to expect. So as always, go to the website, amlopodcast.com. Check it out. Leave us a message. We love listening to your messages, and thank you for taking time out to send them.
It's a knockout listening to your messages. It's a knockout.
I'm trying to think of a pun now. I'm not going back to that one that we said we're not going to. There's no battering going on, but it's a knockout. It just reminds me of like silly big costumes and people running into.
As long as it don't make you think of Stuart Hall.
Oh dear, no, it's the unmentionable. So we'll put all the links to the show. Please go to the website, leave us a review. Maybe don't leave us a review after this section, but please, we look forward to seeing you on the next show. Thanks for your company, Trev, even though I'm supposed to be horrible to you all the time. And
throw in the towel now.
Throw in the towel. Well done. Yes, well done you. Slow clap coming. Cheers. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you on the next one.
See ya. Ding ding.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please leave a rating and review and visit our website at www.amlopodcast.com to check out all the links and resources in the show notes. Start living them good times. See you next time.